Thanksgiving at my sister Monica's house wasn't so much an invitation as a royal summons, a performance she demanded every year without fail. Her home, a gleaming 2-story mansion in the suburbs, stood like a showpiece of perfection. Trimmed hedges, a white porch wrapped in autumn garlands, matching patio furniture, and a front yard so polished it looked like it belonged in a lifestyle magazine. Inside waited the kind of holiday scene Monica lived for, curated, staged, and polished to impress. I arrived at 3 on the dot, holding 2 pumpkin pies I'd baked myself. The air smelled of roasted turkey, candles, and expensive perfume. Monica opened the door before I could even knock twice. She stood there in a champagne-colored designer dress that probably cost more than my rent, her hair in perfect waves like she'd just stepped out of a salon. "You're late," she said flatly. Though I wasn't. I'm right on time. "Well, put those in the kitchen. We're using the caterer's desserts, but yours can be backup, just in case." She said it with a smile that didn't touch her eyes. The house was already buzzing with people. Monica's husband, Jeff, his parents, his brother and family, our aunt and uncle, and of course, her 4 kids who dashed through the halls in matching outfits. There were about 20 guests total, every one of them dressed like they were attending a country club dinner rather than a family holiday. My slacks and sweater felt suddenly too plain, and I caught Jeff's mother's polite frown as she looked me over. "Oh, you're here," she said softly, as if surprised the help had shown up. Monica was in her element, commanding the living room like a general in battle. She told Hannah, her oldest, where to place the wine glasses, corrected the caterer's table layout, and fussed with the silverware until everything looked photo-ready. The dining table shimmered under the chandelier, covered in china I didn't recognize, polished crystal, and little place cards tucked into silver holders. I found my name card near the far end of the table, right beside the children's section. While everyone else had adults beside them, I got 8-year-old Tyler. "Can I help with anything?" I asked Monica as she passed by. "No," she said briskly, without looking up. "The caterers have everything handled. Just try to stay out of the way, okay?" So I stood quietly in the corner, sipping my wine, watching everyone else talk and laugh like I wasn't even there. Jeff's father was bragging about his golf handicap. His mother was showing pictures from their luxury cruise, and the kids were glued to their tablets, giggling and swiping. I looked at those kids and thought about how I'd been paying for those tablets, their tuition, and half their lifestyle without anyone in that room knowing. 4 years ago, Monica had called me in tears. "We can't make the tuition payments. Jeff's investment failed. They're threatening to remove the kids from Lakewood Academy." Lakewood, $32,000 per child per year. 4 kids, $128,000 annually. "How much do you need for this semester?" I'd asked. $16,000 per kid, she'd whispered. 64 total. I wired the money that day. Her gratitude lasted about 5 minutes before the next semester came around. Then another. I'd set up automatic payments directly to the school, and soon, she stopped thanking me altogether. It was as if she believed the problem had solved itself. Dinner was finally called. Everyone gathered around the shining table. I took my seat beside Tyler, who was busy poking the turkey with his fork. "I don't like this," he said. "Why isn't there chicken nuggets?" Monica raised her glass, smiling like a movie star. "I'm so thankful for our beautiful family," she began, her voice ringing through the room. "For all our blessings and for everything we've worked so hard to build." Everyone murmured agreement. Jeff squeezed her hand. "Worked so hard," I thought. "Sure, hard enough to let someone else pay for your 4 private school educations." The meal began. Catered turkey, buttered rolls, delicate salads, and perfect little desserts in glass dishes. I ate quietly while conversation flowed over me. Jeff's mother bragged about their cruise. Monica chimed in about Hannah's violin recital and their upcoming ski trip. "The facilities at Lakewood are just outstanding," Jeff's mother said. "You must be so proud." "Oh, we are," Monica said, smiling like she built the school herself. "It's worth every sacrifice to give them the best." I took a slow sip of wine and said nothing. Hannah, the 15-year-old, was scrolling through her phone under the table, despite Monica's strict no phones at dinner rule. "Mom," she said suddenly, Madison's family is going to Aspen for winter break. Can we go too? We'll see, sweetheart. We're already doing the ski trip. But Aspen's where everyone goes. Monica's voice turned sharp. I said we'll see. The twins, Sophie and Jake, started arguing over cranberry sauce, and Tyler kicked the table leg, shaking the water glasses. Then the servers began passing out printed menus, thick cards with gold lettering detailing each course, Monica's special touch. The server placed one in front of me, but Tyler snatched it first. Aunt Claire doesn't need one, he said loudly. Monica's head whipped around. Tyler, give that back. But you said... He looked at his mother, confused. It's fine, I said quickly. I can see what's on the table. No, Tyler continued, firm now. You said Maid's eat in the kitchen. You said Aunt Claire is like the help. That's why she doesn't dress nice. The room froze. Every fork and glass seemed to stop midair. Monica's cheeks turned red. Tyler, that's not... You did say that, he interrupted, his small voice gaining confidence. You said Aunt Claire can't afford nice things and that people like her eat in the kitchen with the staff. He threw the menu across the table. It hit my chest and slid into my lap. There, Maid's eat in the kitchen, he said proudly. Monica's jaw dropped. Jeff's mother folded her napkin neatly. Well, she said after a pause, there are different levels in every family. It's just natural. Jeff's father grunted in agreement. Some people are workers. Some are achievers. Nothing wrong with that. The air felt heavy. Claire, Monica began, her voice shaky. Tyler shouldn't have thrown that, but you do prefer simpler things. Maybe you'd be more comfortable eating in the kitchen. Less pressure. That's where you belong, Hannah added softly, not even glancing up from her phone. Mom says you're basically poor. Hannah, Monica snapped, but it sounded half-hearted. You do say that, Sophie piped up. You said Aunt Claire's poor, and that's why she drives that old car. All eyes turned toward me. Some pitying, some smug, some pretending to be shocked but secretly satisfied. I folded my napkin slowly and stood. Claire. Don't be dramatic, Monica said quickly. The kids don't understand. I'm leaving, I said. Oh, come on. You're being too sensitive. It's just a misunderstanding. I walked to the kitchen, grabbed my pumpkin pies from the counter, my backup desserts, and slipped out the side door. No one followed. From my car, I could see through the dining room window. They had already gone back to eating. Monica was smiling again, probably rewriting my exit as overreaction. Tyler was laughing. Hannah had her phone out again. The show went on. When I got home to my modest apartment, small, old, but comfortable, I sat at my table and opened my laptop. Monica would call my place sad, but I'd lived there for 8 years by choice. I could afford far more. My software consulting income was steady and strong. 6 figures, great benefits. But every year, $128,000 of it had gone to Lakewood Academy, for 4 children who'd been taught that I was the maid. I opened my bank account, scrolled to the automatic payments, and canceled all 4 tuition transfers, $10,667 each, per month. Then I drafted an email to Lakewood's billing office. Please be advised that I will no longer be covering tuition for Hannah. Sophie, Jake, and Tyler Morrison, effective immediately. All future payments are the responsibility of the parents. Thank you. I hit send. At 7:00 a.m. the next morning, my phone began ringing. Monica's number. I let it go to voicemail. She called again at 7:15, then 7:30, then 8:00, and finally, a text. Call me now. Emergency. I didn't respond. At 8:30, an unfamiliar number flashed on my screen. This is Patricia Chen from Lakewood Academy's business office, the voice said. I'm calling to confirm. You're discontinuing payment for all 4 Morrison children? That's correct, I said. I see. Your last payment covered November. December tuition is due next week, and we haven't received authorization for renewal. The balance for all 4 students now totals $42,668 for December, and the spring semester payment of $64,000 will be due in January. You'll need to contact the parents about that. We tried. Mrs. Morrison seemed unaware that you were the one paying tuition. She was quite surprised. I imagine she was. Ms. Walker, these children have been enrolled here for 4 years. This is very disruptive. The parents will need to make arrangements. I'm no longer able to contribute. I understand. I'll note that in the file. The parents have until December 10th to bring the account current, or will need to discuss the children's continued enrollment. After she hung up, I made coffee and sat by the window. My phone was blowing up with calls and texts from Monica. Finally, around 10 I call, she showed up at my apartment. I buzz her in. She burst through my door. What the hell did you do? Good morning, Monica. The school called. They said, you've been paying the kids' tuition for 4 years, and now you've stopped. December payment is due and we don't have $42,000, then you'll need to find it. Find it? Where? The same place you found it before I started paying. We never had it. You know that Jeff's income barely covers the mortgage and car payments. Then maybe the kids should go to public school. Her face went red. Public school? Are you insane? Hannah's applying to colleges next year. The twins are finally thriving. You can't just pull them out. I didn't pull them out. I stopped paying for a school you apparently can't afford. You've been paying this whole time and never said anything. You called me crying 4 years ago. Asked for help, I helped. You never mentioned it again. So, neither did I. But to just stop without warning. I was called a maid at your Thanksgiving table. Your children threw a menu at me. Your son said I belong in the kitchen. Your daughter called me poor. Your husband's parents agreed. You told them I was like the help. Monica's mouth opened and closed. They're children they don't understand. You taught them. Tyler repeated exactly what you'd said. That I can't afford nice things. That I look like the help. That people like me eat in the kitchen. I was frustrated. You don't make an effort. You show up in cheap clothes while everyone else dresses nicely. You don't contribute to conversations. You sit there quietly, judging everyone while paying $128,000 a year for your children's education. She stopped. What? $32,000 per child, 4 children, $128,000 annually. I've paid over $500,000 in 4 years. Monica sank onto my couch. $500,000. $512,000 to be exact. I thought Jeff said he restructured his investments, that the money was coming from his portfolio growth. It was coming from my bank account every month automatically. She was crying now. Why didn't you tell me? You didn't want to know. It was easier to believe Jeff had fixed it, that you were paying your own way, that your hard work and sacrifices were covering everything. But you were living like this. She gestured around my modest apartment. Well, we had everything. I chose to live like this so I could help. And yesterday, your family made it clear exactly what you all think of my choices. Claire, I'm sorry. The kids didn't mean the kids meant exactly what you taught them. That I'm less than you. That I'm poor and sad and belong in the kitchen with the help. That's not it's exactly what you said. Tyler quoted you directly. She covered her face with her hands. What do? We can't afford December's payment. Let alone the spring semester. That's not my problem anymore. They'll kick the kids out. Then you'll enroll them in public school like the majority of families do. But the college applications, the connections, the programs, you should have thought of that before teaching your children. I was a maid. She looked up at me, mascara running. Please, I'll apologize. We'll all apologize. The kids will write letters. We'll make it right. You can't make it right. You can't give me back 4 years of Thanksgivings, where I sat at the kids' table while you talked about sacrifices. You can't undo Tyler throwing the menu at me. You can't inherit Hannah calling me poor while wearing the $700 boots he indirectly paid for. I'll tell them the truth that you've been helping. They'll be grateful. They'll be embarrassed and possibly resentful. That's not my problem either. Claire, please. They're children, they need their school. They need parents who can afford it, or parents who teach them not to call their benefactors maids. She stood up. You're really going to do this? Destroy their education because of one dinner? I'm going to stop funding a lifestyle for a family that treats me like hired help. We're family. Family doesn't throw menus at each other. Family doesn't assign seats at the kids' table and say, that's where you belong. Monica walked to the door, then turned back. Jeff's going to be furious. His parents will never let this go. Everyone will know we can't afford Lakewood. Everyone already knows. They just thought it was Jeff's achievement keeping you there. Now they'll know the truth. She left. I spent the rest of the day ignoring calls from Jeff. From Monica again. From Jeff's brother asking me to reconsider. From our aunt, gently suggesting I was being harsh. No one called to apologize for the dinner just to ask me to keep paying. On December 10th, I got an email from Lakewood Academy confirming that Hannah, Sophie, Jake, and Tyler Morrison would not be returning for the spring semester due to non-payment. Monica posted on social media about how they decided public school would be better for the kids. More diversity, more real-world experience, a conscious choice. The comments were supportive, no one knowing the truth. I spent my first December in 4 years not budgeting for tuition payments. I booked a vacation, updated my wardrobe, looked at nicer apartments. I lived like someone who made 6 figures instead of like someone who paid for 4 private school tuitions. My Thanksgiving pies, the ones Monica had relegated to backup, sat in my freezer for a week before I threw them away. Next year, I'd make them for friends, for people who didn't assign me to eat in the kitchen, for people who understood that Maid should be treated with respect anyway, and that I'd never been the maid at all. I've been the benefactor.